Hello there, it's Tania Gabrielle, Wealth Astro-Numerologist, and welcome to Star Codes. This is the forecast that provides you with the astrology and numerology trends that are happening as we speak. And it is meant to help you navigate all the incredible energy frequency shifts that are in play on Earth right now. Now, speaking of Earth and what's happening now, the biggest transit of 2021 is Uranus square to Saturn. A square is a 90-degree angle. It creates tension that urges you to act on something of importance. And in this case, the first of three meetings between these two planets, Uranus and Saturn, happens on February 17th. The others happen on June 14th and December 24th this year. So it's an ongoing transit that's going to repeat and really define what it is we're dealing with in 2021. Now, February 17th is important because it launches the aspect between these two. And 17 is what I call the immortality number. It represents overcoming obstacles, leaving a legacy behind, and creating something that you really can count on leaving a lasting impact. It is a very, very strong number, a number of longevity. Now, Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, and of course, we are in the process of acclimating to the Aquarian age. And as I say, this process can take many years, many decades, even a couple centuries. It's a 2,000-year age, and it's not like we just jump right in, right, and leave the last 2,000-year age, the Piscean age, behind. So it takes time. But this is one of those critical moments in February 2021 because it's really, we couldn't have come at a more Aquarian time as now. We are in the midst of 5 planets in Aquarius, including Saturn, but also Jupiter and Venus and Mercury retrograde and the Sun, all in Aquarius at this time. And once the new moon comes around, we're going to have 6. So, the new moon in Aquarius is on February 11th. This is a really big deal to have 6 planets in the same sign. And it is highly, highly unusual. So Saturn in Aquarius, square Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, brings this Aquarian theme to a head in a big way. And the tension created between these two planets is asking us to find resolution, right? A square always asks for us to bring energy into harmony. Now, Saturn represents earthiness, structure, patience. It's a more slow, methodical energy, creates incredible progress because everything is built to last with Saturn. But you have to be very patient, and it takes stamina and it takes trust. And Saturn also represents the masculine top-down system, the patriarchy, the teacher, and the past. So those are some symbols of Capricorn and Saturn. Now, while Saturn is stern and slow and the teacher, Uranus is the discoverer, the inventor, inquisitive, and quick. And so this is about reality, Saturn, and exploration coming head to head to create a kind of evolution and revolution within us. So the question is, can we blend these two energies? And of course, the answer is yes. It just depends on how you choose to do so. Now, Uranus and Aquarius stand for the future, and Saturn and Capricorn stand for the past. So we have this lightning quick energy, this movement towards tomorrow, towards discovery, invention. And it's at odds with Saturn, which is the planet that builds on accomplishments of the past, structures that it has created so diligently over time. In fact, Saturn rules time, Chronos. And by the way, before Uranus was discovered, Saturn, or I should say rediscovered actually, because the Sumerians, the ancient Sumerians, did know about Uranus. They were told about Uranus. So before Uranus was rediscovered, Saturn was the actual ruler of Aquarius. Very interesting. So these two planets coming together is even more Aquarian than you may have realized. So this new moon on February 11th, the 11th portal on Thursday, is totally the big meetup of planets in a sign of the next 2,000 years. And so everything's starting to make sense now. The confusion, the disorientation, and the self-righteousness, where you believe, or some people believe, that judging and making fun of others is a good way to live your life, right? That's also a very Saturnian, even Aquarian, negative development that can happen, an expression, right? We have the shadow expression, and we have the positive, life-affirming expression of each sign, each planet. But no matter how you respond to this tension that's going on right now, there is a paradigm shift obviously going on in the heavens that is naturally reflecting on our individual lives and our collective lives here on Earth. And yes, there's a lot to digest. Absolutely. So all we have really to navigate through all the morass and the confusion is our intuition. And Aquarius actually is the sign that governs our inspiration and intuitive downloads. That's why it governs exploration and invention. Those come from those aha moments, right? The trust in the divine. So taking your intuition seriously is the ultimate message of Saturn square Uranus, because Saturn is serious and Uranus governs your intuition. So taking your intuition seriously. If you take the time every day, for much of the day if you can, to extricate yourself from the naturally imposed confusion, the division, you will see where this paradigm shift is actually happening in your own life. So have you noticed that when you're in this state of calm, this more meditative, peaceful, harmonious state, that your understanding and feelings and perceptions run a lot deeper now? You can understand things at a level now that you were not able to before. It's like the world opened up into a place of truth. Now, why is that? Well, 2021, the number 21, 21st year, governs truth. And we're in the 21st century. So when you are in a calm place and listen to your intuition and take it seriously, you are much more aware now. You're more aware of what is truly important. And you are more appreciative of the transient fragility and beauty of life as well. So what matters most in this whole experience we're in right now is to be more conscious. And what could matter most at this time than the core message of Uranus square Saturn? That's why it's appearing in 2021, the year of truth, the year of freedom. Why do I say freedom? Because 2021 adds up to 5. So we're in a 5 universal year, which is setting us free. And the truth shall set you free. Now, any square to Saturn makes things official in a celestial way, because Saturn is about rules and order. And this is the celestial way of saying, okay, let's make this official. So what is being made official? Well, Saturn reminds you that there is a plan for your life. And Uranus is describing the nature of that plan, because Uranus is aligned with the sign Aquarius that governs astrology, numerology, anything to do with the understanding of the external being a reflection of the internal. So astronomy is the external, astrology the internal, right? Mathematics the external, and numerology the internal. So this is what Aquarius governs, the collective and the individual understanding. So Uranus reminds us to trust our intuition and our Astro-Numerology programming, which is revealed in, of course, your birth chart, the moment you're born, right? You have a birth name, you have a birthday, you have a birth time, a birthplace, and that unveils this incredible code, which is your birth promise, your soul's life purpose. So your Astro-Numerology programming makes it likely that you will fulfill your soul purpose, your life purpose, your birth promise. because it reveals the fact that there's a greater design and a greater plan that operates behind the scenes that's way beyond the universe that we can't even begin to comprehend, which is the realm of Aquarius, right? Aquarius is the intergalactic sign, the sign of discoveries and exploration. So if there was any time to trust that there is a greater divine plan in play, both individually and collectively, it is now. You are designed to follow certain drives, right? You're drawn to do certain things and not other things. Everyone is different in that regard. So why are you drawn to do things the way you do when others choose a different path? Because you're designed to do certain things and not others. And this is what Uranus and Aquarius celebrate, is the individual path, which is revealed in your Astro-Numerology birth code. So the thing is, Aquarius also governs the collective, how our unique gifts are to be utilized in order to serve humanity. So Aquarius is both the humanitarian and the individual. And I know this is a paradox, but in the end, paradoxes are there for us to trust in the divine, because the divine is so unbelievably magnificent. And of course, the complexity of that magnificence cannot be comprehended by the mind alone. It is impossible. The mind is not designed to comprehend such things. So we are here truly to trust in the fact that everything's cool, right? And as dire as things may seem at certain times, such as now, there is an order to the madness, if you want to call it that, right? Because it's actually not, but the ego will define it as that. So to make yourself follow a path or to do things that don't have a natural drive within you, it creates a very unpleasant well-being. It's a life that is very difficult. It's filled with regret. It's filled with frustration. And it also would be, of course, truly tragic from your soul's perspective. So Saturn square Uranus implores you to listen to your natural urges. I mean, we all know, maybe you've even experienced this, parents who will push their kids to go into certain fields, certain areas that they deem as proper, acceptable, safe in terms of financial reimbursement. So these parents have their own ideas about what they want for their kids and what they want their children's life to look like. And so we've experienced that ourselves or know others who've gone through this. But that completely negates the natural urges that are deep within you, which come from the heart. All other motivations, such as this example, parental guidance towards a child, come from the ego. So here's the thing. The ego is not designed to fulfill your life purpose, but it is designed to serve a purpose. And that purpose is to help you grow in every way. However, if you don't watch your ego closely, it will actually derail you from those things that are truly meaningful to you. And these are things that your soul has planned for you, revealed in your birth promise, right? So the ego's desires and ideas often interfere with your heart's desires. And when you partake in fulfilling your ego's desires, well, eventually you will be depressed. You will be sad because you're following somebody else's idea of what you should be doing, right? It's external expectations, top-down leadership, meaning you don't have a say. I have a say, meaning whoever, the idea, the belief that is seen as more important than your heart's desire. You're giving your power away, right? Now, our egos naturally want to be secure and safe, to be superior, survival of the fittest mentality, power, prestige, wealth, recognition, comfort. Those are the drives of the ego. And of course, those will only bring so much satisfaction, right? So much happiness. So if this pursuit of those things comes at the expense of fulfilling your true life purpose, which is only the heart's desires, what drives the heart to feel joy. If this pursuit comes at the expense of the heart's desires, then you will eventually end up feeling very unhappy. And another way to look at these misplaced priorities, which again, priorities are governed by Saturn, is putting your egoic desires ahead of your heart's desires, right? It's like putting the cart before the horse. It's the wrong order. The horse belongs before the cart, right? It's the wrong way around. It's priorities reversed. And since Saturn is about order, Saturn is pushing you right now to get your priorities straight. What are your priorities? So since this Saturn-Uranus square is going on all year, and this is one of those critical moments right now because it's the first time, right? It's really bringing the energy into our understanding, our consciousness. Getting your priorities straight is really, really important. It's one of the big lessons in life in general, right? And so if you want to pursue the ego's drives, the ego's desires, of course, that is your choice, as always. But if you go that route, now more than ever, you will feel very empty. And you will start sensing that fulfillment is only going to come from fulfilling your soul's wants and desires, right? So how do you know? How do you know you're on the right track? What are the signs? Well, they're internal. The internal signs that give you acknowledgement that you are fulfilling your soul's desires, your soul purpose, is an excitement, a visceral thrill, a joy. You just feel it. It makes you feel alive. Whereas your ego's goals point away from joy. They interfere with what feels natural, your natural purpose, and therefore eventually they end up in sadness and depression. So those are really the guidance posts to live by that help you recognize and feel your way towards this incredible purpose that you have. Because we all have a purpose. We all have a reason that we're here. We all are here to activate something that we really came here to do. And our heart understands this. Our heart will always point us in that direction. So this is an amazing juncture in human history right now. There's a huge amount of spontaneity and creativity available to you with this Aquarius activation. You're being challenged to harness your creative brilliance. And sometimes this can create an inner conflict because traditional values are like pushing back and saying, oh, this is doesn't feel that familiar. What familiarity is not the same as feeling aligned with something, right? So feeling naturally engaged is very different than feeling familiar. Familiar is based on those traditional values, that belief systems, right? So we need to adjust to the unusual now. That's the whole Aquarian message here. The quest for independence from the old is basically you fulfilling the desire of your soul's calling. And so freedom and responsibility, Uranus-Saturn, need to be harmonized so that you don't feel this internal battle where you can only have one or the other. Old belief systems versus, what am I yearning to do? Liberation or obligation. It is literally them coming together. Not that you should feel obligated, but that you feel this real sense of responsibility to your soul. So it is vital, of course, as always, to have meditative practices to calm that inner tension that arises as, growth happens, because growth can be complicated. It can be messy, right? It can be letting go of things, letting go of people, letting go of goals. So it's very important to just find the joy. And remember, Jupiter is in Aquarius too. Jupiter is one of those many planets that's in Aquarius all year. And so let joy be your guide as you explore and set yourself free and discover the truth and allow your understanding and perception to flower at this time. Really, these are amazing times. And it's, of course, the perfect opportunity for you to discover your own soul code, as I said, revealed in your Astro-Numerology. And if you go to starcodeclass.com, a free masterclass I created for you, you can discover the meaning of your birth code. It's really fun, it's free, and it helps you understand the people in your life as well, so you don't step on that soapbox and become the judge of others and allow others the freedom to explore life on their own terms. How important is that? That's the Aquarian message right there, right? Everybody's an individual. And we as individuals together create beauty and a collective love for each other. So enjoy that class at starcodeclass.com and have a beautiful week. And I will see you in next week's Star Codes podcast. Lots of love.